Welcome to ComSpark. Today we are in Cincinnati, Ohio. My name is Rich Seibert, and I will be your guest host today. I would like to welcome our guest, Randy Smith, Director of IT at Clark Schaefer Hackett. Randy, thanks for being here. We're really excited to get the program started. I'm Rich Seibert. This is my guest, Randy Smith from Clark Schaefer Hackett. And let's talk about some of the things that's happening in your organization, if you don't mind.
Sounds good.
Digital transformation is the buzzword. It's digital transformation, it's cloud, it's IoT. The pace of technology change has been rapid. To which degree it has permeated the business, has had an impact on every level of the organization, right? These same factors have prompted change within the ranks of IT. Cloud, SaaS, PaaS. What changes have taken place in your organization, or changes that you're considering in your organization today?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think most organizations today are taking advantage of the cloud in some shape or form. Clark Schaefer Hackett is no different. We've actually got several of our business critical systems in a SaaS solution. Multiple vendors across the kind of public accounting space, if you will. And not to mention, of course, Microsoft with Office 365. We moved our email out there a couple of years ago. So lots of SaaS solutions. But we haven't moved into more of the infrastructure as a service just quite yet.
Mm-hmm. How has the organization adapted to these changes from an on-prem to a SaaS, making sure that you provide the same level of support to your users, meaning they get the same experience in a SaaS environment versus maybe an on-prem? How do you ensure that transition to the cloud?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know that, for the most part, our end users, if you will, the staff and the firm, really know where the application sits, right? And I think that's kind of the magic that happens on the IT side. It's up to us to make sure that the internet connectivity is there, the WAN connectivity is there, and if it's an on-premise system, the server and storage infrastructure is there to make sure that the application performs. From a SaaS standpoint, that's on the vendor, and obviously we demo that to make sure that the performance is going to be there for our end users.
It's interesting. They only raise their hand when there's a problem, right?
Very
so
true.
you have to have visibility into those systems to ensure that maybe this application isn't meeting the needs of the business from a performance standpoint. Are you measuring applications? Do you have visibility to those applications right now from a performance standpoint?
We're not measuring application performance specifically on a cloud or even an on-prem perspective. We do rely somewhat on our end users to kind of tell us, hey, performance is different. Now, with that being said, we do monitoring. Like many IT organizations, we're monitoring, trying to be proactive if there's going to be a failure or something along those lines. But from a performance standpoint, we're not doing any specific monitoring or
okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen a shift in the organization from an operations standpoint as far as supporting your infrastructure?
I think the shift has been primarily in a kind of from a keep the lights on mentality, right? Make sure that the servers and the infrastructure is working, making sure that our help desk staff is taking care of firm staff to make sure they're able to service clients, into more of a what can IT do and bring to the business and to our clients to increase that value, right? And I think there's a lot of opportunity there. One of our big focuses right now is on that digital experience from the client perspective. And I speak with accountants in the firm, I speak with clients on occasion, how is that experience of working with Clark Schaefer Hackett? How is it to collaborate with us, to share documents with us? How would you like it to be? Those types of things. So we've invested in a new collaborative and secure portal to make it easier for our clients to send data to us and for us to ask or send data back to the client, and ensure that is a secure transition.
Oh yeah, the days of going to your CFO saying, I need this bits and bytes and this speed and this switch and this, those are gone. Now the discussions are, we need this to drive this business outcome.
Absolutely.
Right, I mean, and so that's discussion with my discussions with IT leaders is it's not about speeds and feeds. It's about how can we lower costs and provide more value to the business to take to the bottom line or increase revenues. So that's we're spot on there. We talked about digital transformation. Cloud is, you cannot have a conversation today without talking about cloud, SaaS, PaaS, digital experience, and user experience. How would you describe your organization's cloud strategy?
I'd say a lot of organizations kind of look at it as a kind of a cloud first strategy or an on-premise first strategy. I think Clark Schaefer Hackett is pretty comfortable with the cloud. I mentioned earlier that we've got a lot of SaaS applications. Some of those are business critical applications, very much client facing. I'd call our strategy more cloud when appropriate, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
In other words, when we're looking at a new application, a new solution, or upgrading or replacing an existing solution, I'm not, as part of those requirements, it's not about is it in the cloud or is it on-prem. It's, does it meet the business requirements? Is it going to do what we need it to do? Is it going to improve value in some way, improve efficiency, effectiveness, etc.? If it happens to be a cloud solution, great.
Right. It's sometimes it's you don't need a break. Fix what's not broken.
Exactly.
And go to the cloud because it's everything's going to the cloud. And there's some things that there's companies that won't go to the cloud from a security standpoint. And there's mission critical things that need to reside in the data center that can't go to the cloud. So yeah, that's interesting. So we talked about digital transformation and cloud. Data and analytics are a big part of your business, being a CPA firm, right? And a consulting firm. You have a lot of data that you store. Does your business have a strategy for collecting, storing, and normalizing data?
Well, I would say we are formulating on that strategy, right? And it's constantly changing, as you might imagine.
Sure.
I think historically speaking, there is a ton of data in public accounting. And really, the firm has been focused on client service. Right now, we're kind of taking a step back and we're saying, how can we use that data to improve the value we're providing to our clients, right? Can we use that data, analyze it, surface insights in some way that allow us to proactively reach out to a client and inform them of something maybe they weren't aware of, right?
Sure.
And better yet, obviously, operating and managing our own business as well.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. One of the reasons that Steve Wanamaker started ComSpark is to attract and maintain that talent, the IT talent in the region, because we're losing a lot of young kids out of high school and college to the trendy cities, like
Sure.
Chicago and New York and San Francisco. We need to keep that IT talent here, right?
Agreed.
Does your organization provide training and a career path for existing IT staff?
We do. In fact, about a year ago, we restructured our IT team to provide a more clear career path. It was prior to that, pretty much support, right? And everybody's primary role was support the firm, support, the client service aspect of it, kind of a keep the lights on mentality. As we're looking at it, we're saying, we need a career path so that we can, attract talent coming in maybe early on in their IT career, teach them the business from a help desk standpoint. That particular role gives them a lot of exposure into public accounting and the different applications. And then from there, they can kind of make a decision. Do I want to get more into the technical side, learn more about servers and storage, maybe application management, those kinds of things, cybersecurity, and take more of an infrastructure path? Or am I more interested on data, systems, business processes, and how technology can support all of that? And we have a systems team for that. So that's the career path internal.
Sure. People that aren't in the business have no idea what IT is. Sure. And you just mentioned so many things, and it requires so much talent and so much training and skill sets. So it's so important that we keep that talent here, vibrant in this great city. What are you most proud of in your current role? What do you like to hang your hat on? What have you done that you think you can say, hey, this is great?
Yeah, well, I've been with Clark Schaefer Hackett now for a little bit over 2 years. And you know, I think if I had to take a step back and say, what have I done that's really kind of been a difference in the firm? I think it's really starting to kind of steer the IT team and the firm as a whole into seeing IT as a differentiator for the business and not just a cost center, right? And that's not to say that Clark Schaefer Hackett and the firm as a whole always saw IT that way. I think it's a little bit of both, right? The IT team needs to see themselves that way, and the firm needs to see themselves or see the IT team that way, right? And because of that kind of transition and kind of speaking to that more and more, the team's being pulled into more of those discussions. If we're having a client discussion and technology comes up, I'm being pulled into those conversations with clients. It's more of an advisory type of role than anything.
Sure. I love the fact that IT now seems to have a bigger seat at the table than previously. And being a part of ComSpark for 4+ years I'm on the host committee, no one's ever really covered IT, right? And now we're giving a voice to IT people in the region and beyond. So I'm honored to be a part of it, and I just love the opportunity to meet as many folks like you as possible. Thank you so much for the opportunity to get together today. I would like to thank Randy Smith of Clark Schaefer Hackett for joining us today, and for those listening to the interview. To learn more, go to comspark.tech.